Alright, I got a bunch of JTS Dead Center pellets, and I want to see if they cycle through the factory Notos magazine. I got some 16.8s and some 22 grain, so I don't know if these are going to cycle through the factory mag or not. My original plan today was just to do an accuracy test on these, but I've got a cold front moving in, so I'm not going to try to do a accuracy test in 15-20 mile an hour wind. I guess it's supposed to get down to minus something tomorrow. It was a 45 degrees a few minutes ago, and now it's 22 degrees. So I'm just going to do this, throw these at a couple of spinners that are in my little homemade vise, and we'll see what they do. See if these things will cycle in the factory mag. I'm really curious. It has a tendency not to handle large pellets real well. I've got a whole video on that. I'll put a link to it in the description. Anything that's got a really shallow skirt, it has a hard time running them through the magazine. These look like they got a pretty decent skirt depth on them though, so we'll see. Now I'm going to start off with the 16.08 grain. See if I can get a full magazine through the Notos on those. Well, that one loaded real well. Okay, there's a jam right there. Okay, so we get the first two to feed and not the next one. Now I can't get the magazine out either, so that's probably going to mean that the 22s are not going to feed either, but let's find that out. I got to get that pellet out of there, and I got to get a cleaning rod to do that. Alright, I got the factory mag unstuck, and we're going to do the 16.7s. I'm just going to do 5 shots because it's getting really cold out of here, and just a kind of a proof of concept. And I want to see just where the lead is on that target, so I'm going to throw 5 more, which would have been my 7 from before, in the Maple Customs mag, which I don't anticipate having any issues with the Notos. And I was going to bring the chronograph out today, get some velocities on these 2 pellets. These are pretty heavy. I wanted to see what they were doing. Looks like they're grouping pretty decent with the wind being what it is. Oops, I pulled that one just a bit. I think that was it. Yeah. Alright, now I'm going to try the 22.07 in the Notos magazine. And I'm pretty sure these aren't going to cycle. Let me get these pushed out of here. Yeah, that's my one that was stuck. See what it looks like. It's got a little bite mark right on the front of the pellet. The skirt, yeah, it's got a little bite mark on the skirt too. Alright, so the 16.7s won't work in the Notos magazine. I anticipate the same thing out of the 22s. Alright, I got the 22.07 Dead Centers loaded up in the factory Notos magazine. I don't anticipate this to go well. The heavy pellets don't cycle well because the probe tries to push them out. The skirt's pretty shallow. The probe tries to push them out before they go into the barrel and before the probe catches the spring on the magazine. First one went in. I'm going to shoot the other target. It was the same aim point. Okay, it jammed on the very second one. Let me get the cleaning rod and get that out. All right, I'm gonna load these up in the Maple Customs magazine. Another proof of concept thing. All right, I got the 2207s in the Maple Customs magazine. Go ahead and finish this out. And I'm using the same aim point, so I think these are gonna drop a little lower. At least the first one did. All right, close these up and go inside, and we'll talk about this for just a minute. Well, for all of us that live up north, we kind of know how the weather goes. Here's a better look at the cans on these. It's the 1608s and the 2207s. Neither one of those feeds reliably through the factory mag. They both fed perfectly through the Maple Customs mag. That's just the way things go right now. I do have some modifications in mind for the pellet probe on the Notos. I'll get around to that when weather permits. I've got 2 days of sub-zero temperature and probably snow, so I'm not going to be doing anything outside in terms of shooting air guns, I don't think. If the wind quits blowing, I might get out there and do an accuracy test, which is what this was supposed to be today. But with the wind blowing like it is, I didn't see any point, so I figured I'd do the pellet test, or the magazine test, really. This is my little contraption here, little homemade wooden vise that I'm using to hold my targets with. This is what the shots look like on the spinner. I got 7 shots on this one, and there should be, I think, 6 on this one, but I can't see all 6 of them, so a couple of them probably hit the same spot. I'm not overly impressed with the groups I got, but I wasn't using a rest in the back. I'm just holding the back of the stock in my hand. Those are all minute of rabbit, so, you know, they're good enough. And that was at 28 yards. I'll get a proper rest when I actually do the accuracy test. Today was just for the magazine. I'll put a link to how I made that little vise in the video, and I'll put a link to my Notos pellet probe video in the description. And I'll throw a video up over here that you might like. YouTube's going to throw one down here you might like. I appreciate everybody, and catch you down the road.